Hi, everybody. I'm Meryl Catlin from Make It Tea Online here with Guillermo Ione, and our special guest today on Spill the Tea is Gabriel Sierralta from TKO. Gabriel, we need to get you a coffee mug.
My desk. Should I go get it?
I'll have to bring you a coffee mug. You'll be able to cheers us next time, right?
You know what?
So,
Give me 5 seconds.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. He's going to go get his coffee mug. So, welcome, friends and guests, to Spill the Tea. We are here in Coral Springs, Florida, and
Caracas,
Fine.
Venezuela.
and Gabe. All right, all right. Cheers. Let's all spill the tea. Gabe, I want you to tell everybody about your company, and I also got this message that you were ranked 338 on Inc. 500's list of the fastest growing companies in the USA, and I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the company. So let's hear it. I want to know how you did it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about TKO, and let's all spill the tea.
Well, yeah, thank you, Meryl. Definitely an honor to be on that list alone, let alone be within 500 of that 5,000 list, right? That kind of shows volumes of where the industry is at, because that is a list where we're talking consumer goods, we're talking engineering, we're talking, right, in any business really. And it just goes to show you how much money there can be made in not just transfers, but the t-shirt business, right? Apparel, promotional items. And so, for those of you who ask yourself, is this something that I can create a living off of? 100,000%. It's something you can do from your office, from your home. And so it's just so scalable. And so it's a great, we could not have really done it without all the customers we have. And every week we're getting, 100 plus more. And so who TKO is we are a custom transfer company. We do custom screen print transfers, DTF, hybrid transfers, puff. We do a bunch in regards to heat seal, right? So we started up in June, and we grew very fast, very quickly. Me personally, I don't come from this background. I was actually in the background. I've always been in the background of sales, whether it was real estate or, I actually came from the cruise line industry. But that was when COVID hit. And so I completely shifted my trajectory into this. Never saw myself doing this personally. But I've always been someone who, I see myself as a leader, someone who wants to help people. And so I lead my sales and customer service team into helping others scale their business in the t-shirt game.
So when I first met you, go ahead, Guillermo. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. So I hear it correctly. Do you start in June?
We started in June 4th of 2021. So it's been about 2 years and some change.
Wow.
Okay. So I think I met you about maybe a year and a half ago, and I definitely met you before I got our direct-to-film machine. And
That's
yeah, and I never would have known if I hadn't talked to you a little bit after that you had not been in the apparel business for a long time. I thought you were so knowledgeable. You just knew everything. You kind of like projected what the industry would need. Like when you guys came out with, let's say, the puff, or you just showed me the other day patches and different things like that. So you said something about what you said in your intro. You talked about the industry and how big the industry is. I don't even think that the general public knows that a couple of years ago I heard that the apparel industry was like one of the top largest industries in the world, like with like, I don't know, $1 billion in business a year, which is just absolutely incredible. So
yeah.
so getting into something like,
You look at some of the biggest companies right now, like Fanatics. They're a company that they have the license to sell for the NFL and the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, but a lot of their stuff is transfer, and I don't know how much they're doing in revenue, but these transfers cost pennies on the dollar, and they're selling them for a lot more money.
Right.
You look at Lululemon. Lululemon has grown, year after year, considerably, and again, don't know how much they're doing, but a lot of what they do is, that's apparel, and they have to use a transfer or screen print or any other printing method to get where they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like any brand at all, no matter what it is, has some sort of apparel in their line. I mean, it's even like Pepsi or I went into Costco, and Costco has they're selling hats with Costco on it. I don't or Kirkland on it. I don't know who would buy that, but they're selling their own brand of stuff, and wasn't cheap either. It was like $20 for a baseball hat. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I was really a little bit surprised about that. So Guillermo, you wanted to talk about Gabe personally a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Ask him some
I want to
questions.
know where you're from originally. Are you from the US?
So I was born in Miami Beach. Was born and raised right South Florida. My
Your
parents
parents?
both, parents both came from South America. Mom is born in Brazil. Dad came from Peru. Hence the last name Sierralta, which means high mountain. But yeah, just a nice fact for you. But I was raised here with the same cultural values that I had from my parents, and a lot of those values were just work hard, right? No excuses, work hard, and you will be someone, right? Just put in the work, and that's
Have
kind
you
of
ever had the chance to visit Brazil or
all
Peru?
the time. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
blessed to have the ability to growing up at least, I always visited, either one of the two countries because majority of my family lives there. And so I don't have much family. I have some family here, but the majority is there. So we always try to go see, the roots. Definitely, it's super important.
So you
That,
know
that,
a little bit of Spanish and Portuguese, right?
I'm sorry.
So you know a little bit of Spanish and Portuguese?
Yes, yes. Part of the reason why I am where I am is because I speak, I can speak to the Latin people in Spanish. I speak Portuguese. Thank God for my parents who, at a very young age, got that, out of me and made it a priority to get me to learn those languages.
that's great.
Nice.
I wish I spoke Spanish. I've been trying to learn for like 1,000 years, and actually, right now, believe it or
Hire
not,
some Spanish employees. Hire
what's
some
that?
Spanish employees that only speak Spanish, and you will learn.
Right, right.
That's
I know, I know, I know. So like Guillermo, he wants to learn. He wants to speak English better. So he's trying to speak
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
But
I'm
I,
learning every day.
you know what?
American girlfriend. That's how you do it.
Oh yeah. Actually, does your wife speak English?
Yeah, she does, but she's too shy to speak. So
Okay,
So have a daughter
okay.
that grows up in American school and speaks.
yeah.
So I'm actually taking Italian lessons on Babbel. I've been doing that like in my spare time, which is like between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. And
I've tried that. I don't know if it was Rosetta Stone that I tried it with, and you get excited to learn a new language. And Italian is similar to Portuguese, very similar. So I tried it, and I was so motivated. And I think that 1 month in, I was like, yeah, I'm learning. And then my dad goes, okay, say a sentence, and I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to do. You got to stay committed. And you have to. I think the best way to learn is to be in the environment. Otherwise, you can only go so far.
right, right. Guillermo, you said you learned English by watching Friends or something, I think.
Yeah, I went to Canada for I live in Canada for 5 months and studied English there. And one of the classes was 45 minutes of watching Friends, and that's it.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys. So
Yeah,
let's
I'm,
talk.
I'm asking you about Peru and Brazil and all the stuff. because hearing your story about in 2 years growing that fast in a post-pandemic era, it's inspiring. I mean, that's amazing. I know you know that. Do you go outside the U.S.? Do you have plan to ships or export merchandise outside the U.S. or price the services in other countries?
Yes, we do have plans to go else, expand. First of all, we're coming to the West Coast. It's a bit of a secret, but I guess not so much now. But we are going to be going to the West Coast, and on top of that, we have plans later on to also expand to some places in South America and to serve all those places. Right now, you technically could order if you're in some other countries. You would just need a UPS or a FedEx number. But definitely being that the owners and a lot of the staff members come from a Hispanic background, we have definitely been looking into expanding into South America.
Oh,
And
nice. We will leave
go with
your
what you said. Sorry.
So,
we will put your website underneath here so people can visit.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Gabe, did you say you're going to the West Coast? You mean West Coast of the United States or West Coast of Florida?
No, of the United States.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be in California then.
We
Okay.
don't know exactly where yet. We're figuring out. Again, a lot of this is top secret, but here I am. There's a couple of places we're figuring out on signing a lease on, but it'll be so that places like California, Washington, even some places up north, will be able to have second day with ground rates.
Okay.
And obviously, being in Florida, a lot of California customers, they love our prices, they love our service, they love our quality, but the turnaround time is not the same as if someone who is living here in Florida or Georgia or anywhere on the East Coast. So it's super important for us for all customers in the U.S. Have that equal opportunity.
Right. So the DI, I know I have a whole list of things here to say, but there's I'm going to ask you about your equipment in a little bit, and can you explain the types of techniques available for t-shirt printing for people that are in the industry now and people that are going to be listening to this podcast and learning a little bit, who want to start printing apparel, and let them know that it's not just t-shirts. So what types of printing techniques are available for them?
So, when this industry not started, but, I want to say anywhere from 10, 15, 20 years ago, a big one, a major one, and I think what was dominating the industry was vinyl. And with vinyl, obviously you have your Cricut, and you could make any little shirt with vinyl. Sublimation was also a big one, right? And that wasn't just for the reason why it was so big is not just for t-shirts, but you could do mugs, you could do promotional items with it, with sublimation. And with vinyl, you can pretty much make anything you really want in terms of the customization aspect. But as you grow, obviously you don't want to. It's a bit of a lengthy process having to cut vinyl, and the process is just too slow. So if you're starting off, you can look into doing vinyl. You can look into doing sublimation, and then we have this really cool thing now called DTF. However, those machines can cost a lot more, but we can get a little more into that. But those are some machines that you can look into. Or if you don't want to have the high cost of having a machine, and you want to scale your business, having a heat transfer supplier like TKO, obviously a great choice, right? You're going to get next day turnaround. You're going to get the ability to get one color, two color screen prints, full color screen prints for as low as 15 cents a piece without having to worry about overhead. So there's a couple ways you can start your business, but I wouldn't nosedive into anything like a big machine. I would stick with your vinyl or sublimation, and then outsource some other bigger orders until you start to see volume.
Right. So the way that you grew, did you grow organically, or did you grow by reaching out to the DIYers or to the large corporations, or did you do all of that?
We did a little bit of everything. We first of all, you can't grow that fast without having, you know, the right people in place, without having prices that customers can make money off of, because we don't grow if our customers don't grow. And so our customers grew because they were able to offer a product that is sellable, marketable, and essentially brings them revenue, right? So our prices are that good where customers are always going to come back. We're always going to have repeat customers. Quality is phenomenal, and customer service is excellent, right? You can get, you know from experience, you can get me on the phone within, if I don't answer on the first call, within 5 minutes, I'm either emailing you or texting you or calling you. Right.
Right.
So all
Right.
those things help us grow. But in terms of what we did outside of that was, yeah, we marketed ourselves very well on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. But we had a lot of help from the community in terms of influencers that
Mhm.
really helped us get where we are very quickly. Shout out to people like Katrina from Katrina's Graceful Creations. Shout out to Rich Kuhn, who is also known as Hustle Ninjas, and many others, Garment Creations, lots of others that we worked with. And, those are some of the guys that I have a relationship with. And, they have lots of subscribers, and they have the respect of the community. And so because of that, we reached out to them. They spoke highly about our company, and it just kind of went that way. TikTok is also a huge platform.
Yeah.
These short reels that they're very satisfying to watch. So we've been everywhere.
That's really great, and it's really great that other people who, whatever if they're in the business or if they're not in the business or they're just being totally supportive. I love that. I love that kind of a community that's really supportive and helps everybody else, and and is not out there like maybe saying anything negative. I don't like negative stuff. People are working really hard these days, and trying to make a living and trying to make a difference and trying to get a message out, and it's important to them. So I think that, like, being in the industry for so long, I know a lot of people that are screen printers that really they haven't gotten out of their box. Like, they don't realize that, and they turn down jobs. They're going to turn
Yeah.
it down, not realizing that they could take on more if they just outsource something, because they're either, I don't know, like maybe just fearful of something new, something a little bit different. And even though screen print transfers are not new, I mean, they had them on the boardwalk at every park and circus and everything for thousands and thousands of years, but that they could create their own. I think that they're a little afraid of doing that. And I think that some people in the industry are even afraid of, like if you have a logo and your company sees this logo, let's say whatever, Gabe's ice cream, they're like, oh, Gabe's ice cream, they're going to steal that customer and go out and try to sell it to them. So I mean, I know firsthand that you would never do that. But that sometimes is a big fear for some of these smaller mom and pop shops that have worked for years and years and years. So, I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you ever have anybody ask you those questions?
I don't think so much. What I would tell you is, to go to the screen printers, you have to pivot eventually with the industry. So if for people like screen printers, they don't want to get into something new. You got to look around, right? Like I don't want to say bad things about screen printing, but the industry is pivoting into something where there's now digital transfers or screen print transfers, and people are beginning to be okay with it because whether you're a buyer of the finished product or you're a buyer of the supplies, screen printing is expensive, and there are much cheaper ways and much more cost-effective ways to purchase these goods, whether again it's the finished product or the actual goods to make the finished product. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's just a lot going on now outside of screen printing to just stick to one thing, right? You have to
Right.
open your eyes to what else is going on.
Right. I mean, I know in-house, we as a company, I mean, we print, but we still use you guys all the time. So
Yeah.
we haven't stopped using you guys, and we still print in-house ourselves. but sometimes it's better for the customer for us to use your product. And sometimes it's better, it depends on how much work we have and, who's sick that day and whatever. So we will do anything for our customers, and having you as I call a strategic partner, is really beneficial, is just so beneficial that I'm so happy that you're in our neighborhood. I'm so happy that we know each other and that we use your services, and to have a relationship. I think that having that for anybody in the industry, no matter what you're capable to do in your shop, you still need to be able to have your services at their fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to have, whether or not it's a mentor or someone, a friend in the industry that can take you to that next level, because a lot of people, they don't know what they don't know. And so they are always kind of stuck in the same place. Like as a screen printer, if you don't have other screen printers who are friends, maybe you don't realize, hey, there's, TKO down the road, or, the next state over, which if you don't want to do a 5-color job,
you
20
froze
pieces,
for a second. I think that's Storm.
Right?
I think that you froze for a second, but that's all right. Maybe the camera. Okay, now you're back. You're back.
Okay, right. So I was saying, right, if you're a screen printer and you have a 5-color job, and the customer only wants, 20 shirts, doesn't make sense. You're going to outsource that, but you definitely don't want to turn away the business, because someone who made a screen printer might say, yeah, I can do this, no problem. And so it's definitely important to have a mentor, or reach out to people, get informed, go on YouTube and learn, get educated on the different printing processes.
Right. I know so many screen printers that say they get an order for koozies, for like 100 koozies. We can't do koozies. You can do them. That's the easiest thing. You can get the transfers from TKO, knock them out. You don't even need a big heat press for that. You get a little heat press for koozies and knock them out. And like, oh, I got another source of income there. There's other things. We even will do DTF on coasters, on these cork coasters, which is neat.
Yeah.
There's a whole other business right there. Drinkware, that whole other business. It's it's
nothing you can do anymore with the technology that's come out of the printing and t-shirt industry. There's almost nothing you can't do, and it's only going to get better. So
right.
Yeah.
So Gabe, I'm going to talk about your equipment. You got some big machines in there. How did you get them? Where are they? Obviously, they're made somewhere. Are they from overseas, the machinery? How do you maintain them? Do you have somebody on staff that is constantly maintaining the equipment? How do you keep all that going? How'd you get it in the building?
A helicopter. You got it somehow. I wasn't there when it got there, but I remember walking in, and it was like 5 crates that they had to open up and install, and it took almost a week to get put together. A lot of these machines, we have to go to special shows, and I don't know how we're financing them. They're lots of money. I couldn't even tell you how much they were, but they're definitely not $30,000, $50,000, even $100,000 machines. It's far beyond that, to do what we're able to do and supply the amount of customers that we supply. So in terms of maintenance, we got to always have somebody there. Again, not your average vinyl cutter or DTF. It's this machine that requires someone to be there 24/7. But we have a rep that is within a few hours I can drive down if something happens. And in terms of maintaining it, the maintenance, it's maybe couldn't even give you a real number, but we have someone there all the time making sure it's running smooth.
Okay, that's good to know, because that's really important, because I know machinery is very, very tricky. One little circuit something happens to, and man,
that's one thing I always tell customers. Listen, if you're buying a machine, you have to know you're signing up for it. It's like having a baby, right? Because it could go down if you're not constantly putting work through it. Even if you're not constantly putting work through it, but you always have, once you buy one, you're becoming a couple things. You're going to now be an accountant. You got to watch for your inks, your film, whatever else, powder, whatever else goes through it. You're a technician now. If something happens to it, right, you're in charge ultimately, whether it's calling someone to fix it or you figuring it out for yourself. And so, that all of that's time. Time is money.
Hmm.
So you have to understand that when you're going to buy a machine.
Right, right. I mean, it's incredible. I wish you had some pictures or something. Maybe we'll be able to share something a little bit later, maybe on your Instagram account. I don't know if you have that or not, but it would be kind of neat for people to see that, and just even the exhaust system that the machines have are
Yeah,
like,
just behind the
yeah,
scenes of
just the
that.
exhaust system. I mean, and you go into your place and you don't smell anything. It's clean. The floor is spotless. I mean, it's
We
really a.
treat our we actually treat our employees better than we treat anyone else, because if we treat our employees right, our employees are going to take care of the customer, which ultimately our customer will take care of
Mhm,
the owners
mhm.
and the staff. So
Yeah,
we believe in employees number one.
yeah, and they are very, very nice, and they're which I really, really appreciate. Yeah, I really appreciate.
We're
And
a
I
big
know that you're.
TKO,
Hmm? What's that?
so we're a big TKO family. That's one of our slogans, right?
Oh,
TKO family.
nice, nice,
Everyone's a family to us.
nice. And your hours are you're not like 9 to 5. Like you don't hang up the phone at 5 o'clock.
No, no, we don't believe in 9 to 5,
No.
because the businesses running off of us are not 9 to 5.
Talking about the machinery, I want to ask you the DTF machine. Is it worth to buy one for somebody who's going to start on this business?
Sorry, repeat that question for me, boss. I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask you, is it worth it to buy a DTF machine for people
Got
that
it.
are going to start on this
Perfect.
business?
I love that question. Um, Here's the thing: DTF printer. You have to understand where DTF fits in the market. Uh, Whether you should buy a DTF printer, you have to ask yourself a set of questions. Number one, if you're new to the industry, no, I would not buy it if you're new to the industry. Number one, you should have some extensive knowledge of the industry before you buy a machine that big. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you need to have the book of business and the workflow to keep that machine busy constantly, because they're using toner inks, and if you know anything about toner inks, the heads clog, right? If they're not constantly being used, and so you have to always be, you always have to put it through maintenance, which can be time consuming. So for me, it only makes sense if you have the book of business, if you've been in this business long enough where you have customers rolling in orders and you're able to keep that machine running. Because otherwise, maybe your margins are 20% better, but you're spending all this time as an accountant, as a technician, in production. And I mean, how valuable is your time? It's a lot of reasons. Big reason why screen printers are selling their equipment, or using transfers to supplement their business, because for a lot of them, their time is so important, and the time is money. So yeah, you're buying this machine. Yeah, you're making a little more margin, but ultimately, how important is your time? And if you're new to this business, your time is your number one best friend, because you have to sell, 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 sell before you start buying machinery.
Hmm. I think a lot of people in business in our industry, they're not necessarily salespeople, and that probably is one of their downfalls. Or they'll have a salesperson, or they'll get like one big customer, one big account, and so that they think that that's going to be the be all end all. And the truth
Yeah,
is, I say this all the time: business goes up and down. Your customers go up and down. One minute you're a hero, next minute you're a zero. So you have to you have to always be out there marketing, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I see the ups and downs. I've been through the ups and downs. And so, it's if I didn't have the support that I had from some of the people that I bought equipment from when I bought equipment initially, I would I would not be doing it myself. I would be, a broker. I'd be just outsourcing everything and just doing the graphics. So that
yeah,
brings me to the graphics part. You guys have an art department, right?
that is right. We have an art department. They work on weekends
Okay, so which means to me that people send in lousy artwork, probably.
all the time. Yes, so people will send in lousy artwork. I'm making a video on this actually, because you can, it's so easy to make a t-shirt, to make apparel. You can take a picture of something and you can send it in to us, and within a week you have the transfers, right? Whether it's a one color or a full color design. We have people that will take that JPEG, which is, essentially a bad file, and we can clean it up for you. Usually it costs, I don't know, depending on who you go through, it costs anywhere from $10 to $50 to $100, depending on the complexity of it, right? We charge a very low fee, flat fee, to receive that bad file and ultimately turn it into something usable to where we can then use it as a transfer. So we get customers who are sending vector files, and we get customers who are sending very, very low resolution crappy files that if we just printed them right away, wouldn't come out looking so well. So yeah, that's why we have an art department that works day and night and even on weekends.
Right. I wish that I do another thing called Apparel Masterminds, and we talk about artwork on Apparel Masterminds, and it is just like beyond me how many people send me screenshots and want us to a screenshot from that's like this big, and we have to make a banner out of it, and oh my God, and they don't understand, and you can't explain it to them because someone emailed it to them, so that's all they have. And then their cousins did the artwork, and you can't find them anymore. That they're not talking, they don't know where it is. But I'm sure that can't even imagine how many files you get a day, and your artists probably pull their hair out all day long.
Yeah, I'm losing you.
But it's good to know that I can have them call you guys, so
can you hear me?
Pull my hair out. So yeah, that's like. Teaching the customers is kind of an interesting thing. Does everybody know that you have sample packs for colors that they can get from you, so that they can actually pick what colors, because you have a good assortment of colors to choose from, but some colors look different on a dark shirt. Same color could look different on a dark shirt as a light shirt.
Right. So we definitely that's something that we take note of, right? Some customers, they have an idea of what red is, right, or what a certain color code is, but not every red is the same, right? And so when they order a certain red from us, their expectations might be a little different, right? And so we've done that, and not a lot of customers probably know that we do this yet, because we just implemented it with the new website, which launched last week. But you can now go on our website and request a sample of all the color swatches that we offer. So now it's not a whether of, let me look online and see what this red is. It's a matter of, I can press it at home. Here's what it looks like. I'm ready to order it. So that's a game changer for people who use our screen print and transfer.
Mm-hmm, right. We actually took those samples, and we put them all on a white shirt, and we put them all on a dark shirt. And I have them hanging in the showroom, and I've had a number of people come in and pick what color that they wanted just from those transfers, and then they can't complain because they chose the color. You write it down. This is what you picked, and
on.
Yeah, and it's a nice circle. It's a nice piece that it's not like a little tiny swatch that they can't really tell. So that is really appreciated.
So how thin you can go on a line. Right, so that's super important too, like the specs. We have on there the color and the feel, and also how thin we can go in terms of our specs. So that's super important too.
Right. So one thing I've been dying to know is, you do full color screen print transfers. Why did you implement direct to film?
Minimums.
Okay.
So basically, DTF is great for a couple things, right? It's great because they can do full color, and it's great because if you wanted to do something like screen print transfer full color, you had to go screen by screen. There was no other way, or you had to cut vinyl, but that took too long. And so with DTF, you can do something full color and not have to worry about, I got to order at least $200 worth of transfers or $100 worth of transfers. Now you can buy one sheet. For us, our smallest sheet is 22 by 12 for $15 and some change. And you can put left chest on there. You can put front or a back. And so adding DTF only helps our customers grow because not all of them, get orders for 100 or 50. Some of them get orders for 10 or 5 or 20. And so with a screen print transfer full color, you can't do those quantities. So again, our philosophy is to help every customer in however we can.
So for people that are listening to this that don't really know, DTF is a digital transfer. So it could be full color. It doesn't have to be vectorized. It doesn't have to be spot colors. It's full color images that are printed in CMYK with a white underbase, and that gives you a full color print. Very, very, very similar output method as direct to garment, which is also digital printing, which is also how you do sign printing, and it's full color printing. It's kind of like your home inkjet printer, but for apparel and for other substrates. And direct to film is the new it girl of the printing world, because you can put that image onto blends, cottons, different types of materials, or almost any material that can absorb a heat press, and it will stick. Yeah.
The possibilities are almost limitless for DTF,
Mhm.
and that's why it's so big. Because now, before you had to cut vinyl to do a small amount. Now you can print it on a DTF. Before for full color, intricate designs, you needed to go DTG. Now you can do DTF. It's much less expensive, and now you just broaden your range of what it can go on, right?
Mhm.
And that's not just cotton or 50/50, but polyester, nylon, spandex, and so much more. And that's really why DTF is so big. You can pretty much print on almost anything.
Right. And for the DIYers who do sublimation, this goes on dark apparel, goes on dark shirts, because the DIYers sublimate at home, they sublimate on lights, and this goes
Yeah.
on darks, and the washing ability is really, really great. Where direct to garment, you have to kind of baby those pieces of apparel when you wash them, and they have a certain lasting ability. But direct to film will last a lot longer, I'm probably double or triple the time frame as direct to garment, which I love. Direct to garment, I love the feel of direct to garment. It's soft, like screen printing, if screen printing is done like in a light way, and direct to film does have a different feel to it, but it will last longer. It's according to what you put, like this is actually direct to film, but it has a lot of open spots, so it's okay. But a big heavy
Right.
solid will feel crunchy to me. But you know,
Exactly.
right. But
And that's the learning process on what to use, right? Because you might have a customer that wants to do one big heavy print,
mhm.
and someone who has a DTF machine, they might go, "Uh-oh, this guy might not be happy with what I have to offer." But there are methods out there that could supplement that order. Maybe you wouldn't want to go DTF because at the end of the day, like you said, let me see your shirt again. Lots of empty space.
Right.
The shirt is showing a lot. It's not one big blob of ink.
Right.
So that's still soft, but not every design it comes in that way from different customers. So a design where it's all ink and it might feel like plasticky. With that, you might want to go DTG.
Right. This could have been DTG, or this would be a full color screen print transfer, or this could even be a screen print. If I did a lot, but I only did one, so of this one.
So DTG or DTF.
Right. I mean, I thought I had it here. We did direct to film on notebooks. You could do them on notebooks, which is really kind of neat.
We did them on cardboard boxes. Actually, I'll tell you, all of our transfers can go on, boxes, cotton, poly, like you said, koozies. We pay a huge premium on our powders so that not just our DTF, but our one color 15-cent transfers can go on them. Our full color transfers, our puff transfers, they all receive the same adhesive, so they can all apply to all the different fabric types.
Mm-hmm. So when you come up with new ideas, like to do the puff, who comes up with those ideas? to implement Puff?
So we work with lots of different market segments, right? We have people who sell in the community, people who are knocking on doors and selling to the local schools, soccer teams, football, churches, right, the community. And we have people who sell online, like e-commerce, and then we have people who they even have an e-commerce store where they're selling the T-shirts already made, or they're selling like reselling the transfers. Reselling is something that is getting really big in the industry. They're buying the transfers for a certain price and flipping them for a profit. And a lot of those people are trying to come up with new designs. And with the technology that's coming out with transfers, Puff, glow in the dark, which we're going to do, we actually get those ideas from our customers. And,
Okay.
if it seems like it's something that's actually going to be worthwhile, we definitely try it, and if it looks good and it works, we do it. So, for example, the Puff, we had a couple people a couple customers that they sell a shirt with some wording on it puffed up, and it does really well. And Puff has been a huge thing in the industry as of late. It's been a really, really nice niche, and so we do Puff now, 1 through 3 colors, and it's been doing really, really well. So we get these ideas from our customers, really.
You showed me
I like
something the
this.
other day, which was kind of neat. No, so part of the design was puff, and part of the design was flat, and that was really really cool. That was really cool. Guillermo, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. I like the idea of glow in the dark for Halloween. That will kill it.
That's
Yeah.
when we're releasing it.
Yeah.
For
Or
Halloween.
for
And
police officers. What about for police officers? Glow in the dark, or
well, there's a couple of different transfers out there. Like I can't remember the name right now. There's like reflective, right? So
Mhm.
when you shine a flashlight on it, the transfer actually shines a big old light, and you can see it. This is for people who go biking at night, or people who have to wear high vis vests. They use transfers that are translucent, or um, drawing a blank.
What?
Um,
Glow in the dark, reflective, neon?
reflective.
Okay.
No, reflective.
Uh-huh.
So reflective transfers, and they show like in the light, they flash. And so there's lots of different types of transfers out there. Some more popular than others.
Okay. So you said that your turnaround time is what, 20, like, does anybody ask for rush when you're already kind of doing next day kind of a
This,
thing?
this industry is all about yesterday. So all the time we get people, hey, I need this today. Can I get it today? We offer a rush service. If someone needs something, same day, if they come to me, usually before 12 o'clock, we can actually sometimes turn it around the same day, at a cost, of course. If they need something next day, we can always do that as well.
So if they need it in a rush, don't they have to, should they just do it through the website, or should they call you, or?
They need to, because if they do it through the website, they're going to get the regular turnaround. Our turnaround is as follows. We ship our transfers next day for a 1 color screen print transfers, and then we ship 2 days for everything else.
So people need to pick up the phone and make a phone call.
Yes.
Right? You guys, everything isn't done just by texting, because you pick up the phone and you hear a human being on the other end of the line, and they answer the best way.
I feel this generation is a lot more I'm going to text, and I'm going to text them and hope they answer, versus pick up the phone and call them and get an answer right up front, right? Or even email sometimes is too slow. So that's why working with a company like TKO is great. You have assigned a rep, and you can call, and I mean, for me at least, within 5 minutes, my customer will always have a, hey, can't answer you, or hey, what's going on? And that's super important. So yeah, if you need to do a rush or something out of the ordinary, something custom, a favor even, call.
Yeah, sometimes I think texting is a passive aggressive way of communicating. They don't really want you to answer. They're trying to skirt the issue from getting anything done. Like, they didn't answer me. It's an excuse. Like, okay.
Yeah, not everything needs to turn around, super quick, but you definitely want a rep that can help push things. And we have a lot of reps that work here in production that oversee
Mhm.
what's being pushed out, and that's huge to have a relationship with someone who's on the inside.
So everybody who's watching this podcast, you see that guy, Gabe, you give him a call and he will take care of you. He'll get you those screen
Yeah,
transfers right away.
go visit their Instagram account, TKO.sales. They're having a nice giveaway for the recent achievement. So I really like that
Yeah,
giveaways.
yeah, yeah. So
Sure.
so they can find you on Instagram, they can find you on the website, they can find you by Googling you, by the and there you what are your hours that TKO answers the phone? Like what are the legit working hours?
So our phones are open from 8 a.m. Eastern. So no matter where you are, anywhere from Florida to Washington, California, 8 o'clock we're up Eastern, and then our main line stops after 6 p.m. Eastern. But we have our account reps for each individual region. So if you're calling, California time, 5 o'clock, for us it's 8 p.m. Your rep would answer the phone.
That's great. That's great. Let me look at these other questions here because I think I have this list of questions here which I haven't even really looked at because I'm just enjoying talking to you so much and hearing all this great information. So let's see. Do you have sustainable or eco-friendly printing options available for those that are interested in environmentally conscious printing?
Of course, we have we do transfers that are also water based, great for the environment, and those are actually one of our top transfers that were requested because with this ongoing movement of going green, water based transfers is something that accommodates those people, and they're great transfers. They're actually a digital transfer, the limits are limitless. Sorry, the limits are endless. You can do full color. And it's basically the DTF print. And yeah, digital, water-based, safe for the environment. We started off actually with that kind of transfer when we first opened up TKO. We wanted to be environmentally conscious. It was the first transfer that was available outside of the 15-cent transfer.
Okay.
So plastisol, not very. I don't know how environment friendly plastisol is, but our water-based transfers are extremely environmental friendly.
Mhm.
And you'll find that on our extreme color stretch. That's where
Okay.
you would find it.
I know a lot of screen printers who really pride themselves on doing water-based screen printing. And it's almost
Yeah.
it's like that's the nature of their business. And so they would be really happy to know that you offered that as well, because, in case, like I said, you always need a backup or you need a full support. So you guys are there for both. You can do both.
People that we work with won't touch anything toner with plastisol, and that's fine. All power to you. That's why we offer what we offer. We want to accommodate to every vertical and every kind of customer out there, not just one or two or three.
Mm-hmm.
We want to accommodate to everyone.
So Gabe, how many trade shows do you guys do a year?
That we're scaling. Before it used to be the three main, and the three main used to be all the ISS shows. So we used to always do ISS in New Jersey, Fort Worth, and Long Beach. We're now doing a lot of graphic expos. There's one in North Carolina, Indianapolis, Long Beach as well. We did a surf expo in Florida. We're going to start going to a lot of the ASI shows for promotion of products. We see that's always been big, but it's only getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so ASI shows, the ISS shows, and some of the smaller shows we're going to try to be there too. Maybe a smaller booth, but we're looking at anywhere from I want to say 5 to 10 shows a year minimum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's a lot of shows.
Yeah, and if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see updates on which ones we're going to and the dates and all that stuff.
Okay. I know that the Printing United show is going to be in October in Atlanta, and then the next.
We'll be there.
Yeah, you're going to be there, and then ASI is September. I mean, ASI is. Well, I think there's one in Fort Worth coming up. I think this week, an ISS show. I think.
I'm not sure. We haven't signed up for that one, but we have signed up for Print United in Atlanta, and we'll be at Fort Worth in September.
Okay, okay. And then there's the ASI show the beginning of January, and then the IS in Orlando, which is a little closer to home, so it's easier. And then ISS the end of January, middle of January. So it's a lot of traveling, but
I
you're
love
reaching
that.
a lot of people. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And Long Beach will be huge for us this year because, again, lots of people on the West Coast want a bit of a faster turnaround.
Hmm.
So, we're gonna get there going to the West Coast, and we're gonna be happy to, disclose that information when we go to Long Beach next year.
Mm, that's awesome. That's awesome. I hope to be at all those shows as well. So
I would
yeah,
see that.
that'll be great. That'll be great. You're gonna get sick of me. So okay,
No,
so let's talk about the size that you can output. So are there any limitations? Well, I know there's no limitation on the complexity of the design. It could be full color or spot color, and you've added more colors to your spot color um, offerings. But what about the size limits?
so yeah, our size limits really we can go really big now because of DTF. We can do prints as big as 22 by 96 on a roll. Now, if you don't want that, because here's the thing, DTF not meant for big orders, meant for small to medium orders. Just to give you an arbitrary number, not an arbitrary. I would guess the number that's most used that I've seen where people use DTF versus the screen print method. DTF, I would say, is for if we're talking about full size prints, 1 through 25, 1 through 50. Once you hit, and the reason why is because you're talking about a fixed cost, right? But if you're talking about a fixed cost and you're buying that at a fixed cost, when you get into the larger quantities like 100, 150, 300, etc., you want that price to come down. You don't want it to be fixed. And so with the screen printed full color transfer, your price actually comes down. And so that's why I say DTF from here to there, screen print full color from here to there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me, but I just want the people listening to understand that, and also for people that are listening, you may want a full print, but you may be able to split that print. So maybe you could get, something that you can print here, and then something you can print over there as well. So it doesn't all have to be
Yeah.
one print. So you can.
We can screen print screen print transfers as big as 12.75 by 19, and that's a gang sheet, whatever you can fit on there. And we can even do like a single print, right? If you have a left chest and a back, you're gonna go gang sheet, right? It's gonna save you money, and you want to fit it on our biggest sheet, 12.75 by 19. But if you want just one single image, we actually just came out with a new program. People who aren't familiar with us, we do a 15 cent and we do a 20-cent transfer. 15 cents for a 9 by 12, 20 cents for a 12 by 12. We just came out with something bigger, right? Because now with the industry growing, we have what you call street style. And street style is this new thing that everyone wants to do, right? These oversized T-shirts where the print is so big and it's covering the entire shirt. That really seems to be taking off. So we just came out with a new size, 13 by 14. 12. It's going to cover the whole shirt. We're selling it for 15 cents with 50 cents with the setup. So if you're new and you're trying to start a street style business, TKO transfers is a great option for you to get going.
Yeah, I didn't know you had that. That's well, you need to have a big heat press too to do that too.
16 by 20 will do the work.
Yeah.
Or 15 by 15.
And you got to move everything over. just position it a little bit differently. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I know that we get customers that ask us for all kinds of sizes of things. So, what's in one year is going to be, out the next year and then in back again the next year. And I guess I don't know if there's different, this is a good question. I didn't have it on the list, but do you actually look at the artwork that comes in from different parts of the country? Like, do you see any trends coming from California or New York or Idaho versus, other places
Yeah.
So what are those trend predictions, colors and all that kind of stuff?
So when I see trends, they're usually they're usually political or sports. Those are kind of the big movers in terms of designs, right? You get a lot of political stuff, memes, right? Funny sayings, jokes, and then you also get your sports. And those you're always going to see like around football season. You're going to see different funny sayings about beer and football and baseball and partying. And then when election time comes around, you're going to see a lot of memes and jokes about this president and this candidate, whatever. The idea is to stay relevant and to see what's going on, right? See what's hot. A big one that actually was huge here as far as what we were seeing was not to get political, the Let's Go Brandon. Let's Go Brandon was a design that we were getting hundreds of designs on a daily basis, and that didn't stop for months. So that tells you that money was being made off this design. So you have, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to stay with it. You got to understand, what's hot, and you got to be the first one to jump on it. Because if you're not the first one, it's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, you definitely have to see what's going on. You have to walk around life with your eyes open. I mean, or else things are just going to pass you by. So I'm happy that you guys are staying current with the trends, that the colors you're offering are great colors, that your different materials, your puff, and then why don't you talk about the patches? You were showing me some patches.
So the patches, I can't talk so much about that yet, just because we haven't finalized the logistics of which exact patches we're going to sell, how to sell it, how customers are going to place orders. So even price points I don't really know that much of. So I can't comment too much about it. I just know that it's huge for like promotional items, and it's something that we've gotten lots of requests of, and especially for like embroidery. Not everyone has their own embroidery machine. Mm-hmm. So embroidered patch is like a great substitute.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, we'll ask you about that next time we have you on Spill the Tea. So, okay, let me go down my list here. Is there anything that you want to ask us?
I want to ask you something. Kind of caught me off guard there.
Okay.
Not at the top of my head. Right now, we just have a lot going, and our priority right now is just, we get so many emails a day on, hey, what can you do this? Can you do that? And we're in the constant mindset of what can we do better in. And so I can't even say right now what I want to hear from you, because I feel like from overseeing all these emails and all these requests, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that we're not already working on.
Okay.
So I want to ask you. You mentioned earlier that you partnered with a lot of influencers on social media for your growth, and you did some tutorials that helped you to get some customers, or how do you think about doing tutorials for customers, for regular people to know? I don't know how to set up your own artwork, how to use the DTF stuff, and how to heat press, how to
That's huge. That's huge, right? That is so big for us. We are going to be scaling our educational content, because if you go on YouTube, we have a couple of how-to videos, right? How to place an order, how to set up artwork, how to set up a gang sheet, how to size your artwork. We actually have some videos on our YouTube page, but I mean, there are so many questions to be asked by your everyday t-shirt maker or t-shirt entrepreneur, right? Where does the left chest go? Is it better here? Does it better here? Where does that go? What's your industry standard for a full back? What's your industry standard for a front? Is it 3 inches? Is it 3.5? Right? So many questions like that. Can this go on polyester? And so we have to come out with more videos, and we are. That's in the process, but we're definitely going to be scaling as we see that people are more and more engaged with wanting to learn about t-shirts and transfers. We're going to have to come out with more information on things that cover all aspects and questions in the industry.
Nice, amazing.
Yeah,
That's huge for us.
I think it's really,
Content,
it's so important. It's so important.
yeah, content is not even just for TKO, but as for you, Merrill, and for anyone that's growing in their business. Content is your number one selling tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to post, and TikTok. You catch an algorithm, and you're set. I mean, you can catch an algorithm on TikTok and Instagram, and you can go from having 20 followers, including your family members, to having thousands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that plays, hustling plays a big part in that.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'm going to shout out again my friend Erastus. He has been a force in the industry, right? He's always preaching heat press, heat press, heat press, heat press. You don't need a machine. You don't need DTF. You don't need to screen print. Buy transfers. Save your time to sell. Have a heat press and post, right? If you're selling T-shirts, post about it. If you're selling hats, post about it and tell your friends. Hashtag. Creating content should be your number one selling tool.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse for why you shouldn't be making money in this in T-shirts with everything that's given to you, whether it's TikTok or Google or Instagram. You have to put yourself out there, and content is the number one way to do it. So Guillermo, that content is absolutely something that we're going to start seeing more of that.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah, you know what? When you're talking about stuff like that, there is a difference between people who have a brand, and that's what they're selling, their brand, and then people that like us, that we print other people's things as well. So our content would have to be different, even though we could still get the customer base on TikTok by using, the same methods, but gearing the marketing in a different way. So people who are going to use social media and TikTok and Instagram, you just have to gear your marketing towards what exactly it is that you're selling, and to the people that you're selling to. Like we do have brands that some of them are our brands, like the Love Your Fate is our brand. But then we also print other brands for people, as well as print for people who have businesses and restaurants and, and teams and all kinds of stuff too. So you just have to, but so important in marketing, the first thing is know your market, know who your people are, who your demographic is that you're selling to, and what are you going to sell to them, and keep on doing it. You got to keep on doing it. You can't stop, out of sight, out of mind. So you got to keep on doing it. So, okay. So Guillermo, do you have anything? We've been talking now for I think over an hour.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like it. Flying by.
I know. This is what happens. We start spilling the tea about T-shirts. Spill the tea. That's like an old British phrase. Like, oh, we're going to spill the tea, darling. Let's talk shit about T-shirts.
Now, is the logo you have back there behind you? Is that how about you put maybe you make it a T-shirt instead of an actual teacup?
Oh, this one?
Or you know what? Maybe.
But this.
Yeah.
T-shirt. Yes.
I see. There's a T-shirt in it. There you go.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And here's our. Well, I'm sitting on it. Wait a second. I think I had to tie it on here. We have an apron. Wait a minute. We have an apron. Actually, this is dolphin orange, but it's an apron. And
beautiful.
When I say dolphin orange, we actually did these aprons a while ago for that 50-50 raffle that the Dolphins did. So I had extra aprons. So we have that. And of course, when you're spilling the tea, you need a tea towel. So you guys, you can print on towels. You can do, and then we have our little T-shirt koozie.
That's cool.
That's cool. I like that one.
And a bunch of other stuff here. So we're just like,
Carol, you have Instagram, right? You have an Instagram where you post all of this, correct?
Yeah, we have Instagram. I personally haven't put stuff on TikTok. I know I need to do it. it just, I mean, it's hard to do that and run the business and do all the things I do. So I have to get one of our teenagers.
You have a pretty big business, so I mean, TikTok would just be the cherry on top for you, right?
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and I really think this podcast is gonna really take off because I think it depending on who you select to be on here, you have a really good thing going. And I've been in your shop, right? You moved somewhere much bigger, I think.
Yeah. We're like twice as big, although it did take a bit of the space for the podcast room, which is also our conference room, and also I did want to make a nice showroom so people can come in and there's not, boxes and ink and all this kind of stuff. So when they come in, they can see stuff and they can, they can touch the shirts. I mean, I was just showing Guillermo before, I've got ink all over my hands. Like this is what my life is like. I mean, I literally have ink all over my hands. I've washed my hands like 4 times.
You have right now a little space here in Venezuela, also not only in Miami.
I have ink from the keyboards because I type so much.
But it's water-based ink, so it's eco-friendly. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, Gabe, I want to thank you for being our guest on Spill the Tea today. I know that Guillermo and I were really happy to talk to you. I'm glad that you took the time. Your business is just phenomenal, and we're actually so lucky that you're in our city, so that we can, I can go over and I can see things, and I know what honestly, I think I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to you because I've been to your place, and I'm really like thrilled, and I'm thrilled that you're growing the way you're growing, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that we can get to do another Spill the Tea. Maybe we'll do one live at the show in Atlanta. That would be kind of neat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be great. I'm 100% on board for that, and I would even be cool with going over there myself next time. I mean, you're down the block, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
I would drive over there if when I find the time to do so.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Guillermo, are you still there, or did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Well, everybody, I'm going to thank Gabe for being here. Let me see if we can hear our little, we hear our little clapping here. Yeah, thank you, Gabe. Thank you. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank everybody for joining Guillermo and I. And we will see you at the next Spill the Tea. Bye-bye,
See you later,
everybody.
guys. Thank you. Bye.